Hi there, I'm Mark Birch, Global Startup Advocate at AWS. Please introduce yourself.
Ariel, CTO and Co-Founder of Piiano, data protection infrastructure for developers.
Okay, maybe talk a little bit more about what that is. Can you describe the value you're creating in one sentence?
We are providing an infrastructure for developers to integrate security and privacy into their own application without messing or writing it themselves. Okay, just integrating.
It's a huge service for developers because security can be quite a messy thing to actually have to build from scratch.
Right.
But how did you come upon this idea? Were you already in the security space? You have that experience? Were you talking to customers? What was the story?
Yeah, thanks. So we are 20 years into the security area, experts in that area, let's say. Our previous company was a turnkey projects kind of a company. We basically solved our services for solving very hard problems, security and non-security, low-level problems. We were acquired by Magic Leap, a huge startup from Florida that are developing augmented reality glasses, and there we led all product security operations, overseeing hundreds of engineers all across the globe, and we saw how hard is it for them to build security into the product. They don't really want to do it in practice, okay? They want to focus on their own stuff. Security is like something they want to avoid. So we needed internally to build that for them and give it to them as something that they can very easily just integrate with. And then we saw, hey, why not doing it in scale? At the same time we were there, GDPR came and we saw the same happening exactly with the privacy compliance regulations requirements. They don't want to build it, they still need to do it, right? So why not just developing all of it for them? And that's what we did in Piiano. We just give them something off the shelf, something they can just integrate with instead of building from scratch. Again, they don't really want to do it.
No, I know myself, when I started off as a software developer, I had to actually build all of that from scratch. This was like late 90s, and there was nothing there that you could just kind of plug and play. But I'd like to get a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more about how do customers experience using Piiano today in the day-to-day? Like, how is it actually solving that problem for themselves?
Yeah, so what's unique about Piiano is that it's a self-hosted solution, meaning it's a cloud-native solution. You just deploy it anywhere within your own cloud architecture, within your own Kubernetes, whatever it be, Amazon, even other cloud providers I don't want to mention here. But eventually you just deploy it with a simple Terraform script or anything else that works for you, and you get endpoints. REST API is simple, and we have SDKs for that. And as a developer, again, you don't need to think about security, privacy, anything. You just work with simple APIs, you store data, you fetch data, and we do all the heavy lifting for you behind the scenes. We do all the key management, key rotation, tokenization, field level encryption, searchability over the data, everything that I can talk for hours about.
We can talk about that for a while.
We just do it for you. You just work with simple REST APIs, and you are covered.
Obviously, huge thing. We love hearing about that at AWS. Like, our thing is all about getting rid of the undifferentiated heavy lifting, and particularly for developers, if you just have them focus on what they do best, which is writing business logic, writing real value, creating that customer experience, and taking all this stuff like infrastructure, security, privacy off the table, huge benefit. Exactly. So where's the company today, and kind of what's the future? What's the next big thing you're tackling?
Yeah, thanks. So we are 20 employees sitting in Tel Aviv. We secured $9 million 2 years ago, and we are now starting to scale. We built a product more than a year because it's a product that is in your own core architecture. It's a mission critical type of of product that has to always work. It has to be always on. It has to be able to scale. It has to be fully resilient. So it took a while to build it. But once we built it, we started to sell it to a few customers, and now we are exactly in that stage to try to scale the product, try to engage more customers. And that's our next major milestone, to bring more customers and then go to the next round. This is the life of startup, right?
Life of startups, more customers, more funding, more customers, and you're on that cycle and on that journey.
Exactly.
But talking about journey, startup founder, a lot of different challenges you have to face. Could you maybe share something from your own journey that you think would be valuable for folks that are listening that are just starting their own journey?
Yeah, so I think the number one, the most important, of course, in startup is having the right partner. But then on top of that, eventually you get so many advices from so many people, and all of them are true, but eventually you're the only one that knows exactly what to really work for you. we did a lot of stuff that are not by the book, or maybe actually against the book. We started without a design partner, which is usually everybody tell you, hey, you need a design partner, and build something for them even if it's not exactly your product, but start with them. We talked with the markets, we realized it's going to take a while to build it, so we said, hey, we will build it even though there is no real design partner that will wait for that, because those that needed the solution needed it yesterday, right? So they will not wait for the 1 year that it took us to build it, but we realized we have to do it because that's the right thing to do. So even though it's, again, against the standard playbook of startups working with design partners, we did it, and eventually it's paid off. Eventually that's how we brought the large customers that we work with today, because we developed such a self-hosted infrastructure, as I said, that is deployed within your own architecture. So again, it took a while to build it. On the other hand, we realized in our specific case, that's the right thing to do. So eventually listen to your own, your own gut feeling, right? Take everybody's advice, use it, right? And talk more and more with more people, but eventually you have to decide for yourself what you're going to do.
I love what you're saying, because it really is your own journey, and you got to figure out what are the things that are going to work for you, and being successful as a founder and as a startup. It's not always by the playbook. You got to use your gut.
Right.
Really important lesson. Thank you so much for taking time here at the AWS Summit in Tel Aviv to share a little bit about what you're doing. I know you're busy, but really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much as well.
All
Happy
right.
to hear.
Thank you so much. Take care now. Bye.
Bye-bye.